But you know how many times I go to an audition, I hear this. Like a lot of people don't like to audition. I like to audition, and I'll tell you why, because I fuck with them.
Because you're funny.
You know, I've ripped my pants out. You know, if you watch, what's that show on CBS that's been on forever? I don't fucking
Which one?
know. Monday nights.
The Big Bang Theory?
The one before that.
How I Met Your Mother.
I did you know how I got How I Met Your Mother?
I didn't even know you did it.
Yeah, if you watch the episode, you're like, Joey, you're an extra. I'm an extra. You know why? Because I went into the audition, I had no underwear on. And there was you see these things that pop out of chairs?
Yeah.
The side things, the way you armrest.
Right.
And she goes, get up to read. When I got up to read
pants
from the
came
scene,
down.
the fucking thing got caught in the hole in my pants and my dick came out. All three women sat there and I go, did you see the egg roll? And then I lost them for sure. They even told me, they go, you got the job. As I was walking down the street on Fox, my phone rang. My agent goes, go back. You didn't even read. I didn't even read, and they had called my agent and said, we love this guy. I went back, and when I went, didn't even read. They saw the Cuban egg roll, you know.
Well, they were probably not used to someone with confidence that didn't give a fuck.
You know, I went to an audition one time, bro, where the guy I'll never forget this. The guy was a white trash guy. Like, this family moved in. It was a pilot for ABC. And this guy is one of those guys that he had a little circular pool in front of his house. And he was watering shit, but at the same time he had like a thong on, and he's fat, and he's got jewelry on, like one of those guys in like Long Island. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never forget. I get to the audition, all these guys are there. Tony Longo, God rest his soul, all these big Italian dudes, and I knew they were gonna get the part, bro. I'm like, they're gonna get the part. I'm not gonna get it, but I had warm-ups on. All right, I had warm-ups on with the string, and I had white tidy whities. And I had a zip-up jacket, and I had to weigh 380. So I walked in, I go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my pants off. Right? I'm taking my fucking sweats off. Dog, I walk in, and what do you think these two ladies say to me? Hold on 1 second. We'll be with you in a minute. So they turn around. That's my cue, bitch. I took those sweatpants off. I took the shoes off and my socks, and I walked closer, and I took my shirt off. When they turned back around, all I had was boxer shorts on, like the tidy whities. That's it. Tits hanging out, stomach hanging over the underwear. And they did. As soon as they turned around, they were like, "Oh my God!" They're like, "That is terrible. Put your shirt back on." I'm like, "I'm not putting on shit. All right, I'm reading this motherfucker how it is." So you were supposed to like wave and say good morning, and they're like, "Action." And they're like, can't even look at me because I'm completely naked. You know, and they can't even look at me, and I'm making believe I'm flipping burgers, and I look over at them and I go, living like a doctor. That's it. They booked me. When I got to the audition, that was the read. Living like a doctor. They even gave me my own line. Half of those auditions I went into, they gave me whatever line I said in the audition. Like whatever they said wasn't good enough. Like I go in there with my own fucking line.
Yeah, that's probably why you got it.
Look at Joey. He's just sitting there like a mook galore.
That's when you were wearing those big daddy shirts.
Yeah,
all
look
the time.
how big I was.
Jesus Christ, you were enormous back then. Those must have been like, what, 2000 then, right?
Yeah, this is 2000, 2002, 2003.
I remember when I met you, like right after I met you, I brought you onto the set of News Radio.
Oh,
and they were all like, who is this guy?
With the leather jacket on.
Is this guy your friend? Like, I go, that's Joey.
By 94, there was no way. I tried to get a job. I would get jobs at different car lots just for the advance. I would tell them I could speak Spanish and I could sell 15 cars a month, call anybody in town. But I need a car and I need a nickel up front. They'd give me a car, and that's how I go to the gigs. Judy Brown, I still remember going to one of Judy Brown's gigs and the car blew up and I just left it there. I just took like a bus into town and left the car. The dealers would call me 3 days later. Where's our car? What's in fucking Vail? What the fuck is it doing up in Vail? Bro, I was killing dealerships. Killing dealerships. There's a guy that's still my friend that lives in Pismo Beach. And me and him got into a conversation about this about a year ago. He goes, when you worked for me at that Jeep store, you were a nightmare. What the fuck were you doing? I was just taking a car at night. Like whatever I wanted, I would just take a new car. And then I went to work for used car dealers. After the new cars wouldn't hire me no more as an open micer, because I could speak Spanish. So they had to put me. I go in there and put them together. Listen, do me a favor. Give me 15 up front. Give me a car. And I'll even shoot the commercials for you. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos Toyota. Dog. I think I shot one commercial for one of those guys. They had the whole camera crew out there. Llámame ahora, José Díaz. 303-752. So people would come down there looking for me from Telemundo. I never lasted. I quit all the time. I quit every fucking job.
Oh my God.
I would just go take the job just to have it. Then one day I took a car from a used car dealership. I knew the girl. I had an affair with the girl. And she called me up one day. She's like, Joey, these guys, they'll pay you anything to come work up here. They're looking for a Spanish guy. That was my last car job business. I go, her name is Lori. I go, put them together, get me $2,500 a demo. She goes, I'll call you back in a little while. She called back. She goes, they'll give you $2,500 a demo. You got to work ding to ding. That means all day, 4 days straight, and then 2 days off, whatever. I go, all right. I went there. They go, pick a car. The first fucking car. That's when I was mush. See, he doesn't understand that I could call him mush because I used to be mush. At that time, everything I touched turned to shit. Every car, everything I touched. Whatever I touched blew up. If I bet a team, even if the other team didn't show up, I'd find a way to lose. It was terrible. I know mush because I live mush. So I had a gig in like fucking Wyoming. You can't write this shit. There's like a foot of snow coming down, so I didn't want the snow to settle. So I left after the gig. At this time, I'm doing 35, 40.
What car did you take?
One of their cars off the used car lot.
Yeah.
We're driving back, and I hear like boom, boom, boom. I'm like in Greeley, and I hear like boom, boom, boom. Something's wrong with the car. And I'm like, man, this is getting hot in here. I'm by myself. I'm like, man, this is getting hot in this car. And all of a sudden, I'm smelling like fire. I'm like, come on. And sure enough, I pull over, bro, and something was on fire under the hood. I just took my suitcase. I started walking. And within 10 minutes, I hear like boom, something. And you can see like the flames in the car. I just walked away from it. That's the second time that happened to me in my life. Where a car I was driving just lit in flames. You know, people think like I call them, you know, I lived it. Tell them about the car I had in Seattle. Tell them about the car I had. No. Yeah. The car I had in Seattle, when I first moved to Seattle, the last month I had that car, I was driving it without, not a bumper, but what's the side panel?
That covered the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the...
It was off. That was my, I paid $800 for that car. That was the best car I ever had in my life. Why do I know? Because I put that car through Commando tactics. I drove from Denver to Baltimore in that car easy 15 times.
Do you still drive the way you used to drive?
Yes. What do you mean?
Just like you used to beat the shit out of your cars.
Yes and no. I'm a horrible person with cars and that's why I don't buy a Cadillac.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why I won't buy a BMW. Because I've lit cars on fire. Nobody has had worse luck with cars than Uncle Joey. I was the original mush. I still remember being 18 and delivering electronic parts and shit for a company. And I went somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. And the guy would always say to me, how come it always takes you longer than everybody else? And I would always have some story. Do you know that one day in 1983 in the snow in Jersey, I was making a delivery for this fucking guy? This could only happen to me. There's electrical poles and there's like little wires on the bottom.
Yeah.
So this is the pole and there's usually like these steel beams. One day I was going in reverse in the snow and the back of the wheel well caught that beam. And I'm up there. I'm a fucking gorilla, guys. I'm not built for that shit. I'm like, finally, I'm like, fuck. And I get out of the car and I go look. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, how can this happen to me? And at that time, there was like he had like a thing, like a CB. And he's like, Diaz. He's like, Diaz. Come in. Where are you? And I'm like, I'll be right there. I'm 2 blocks away. And I'm looking at this thing. It's on 89th Street in North Bergen. It's like a side street behind. I used to live in that rocket ship in that park. It was right there. It was on the corner there. And I went to visit a friend, and I went up that hill for some fucking reason. And something happened, and I went to back up, and I got caught on that thing. And you know me, I'm like, how am I going to get out of this? I'm like, fuck this. I get back in the fucking car. And I just I got the car in like fucking drive 2. Like in those days, they had drive 2, drive 1. I had that motherfucking 2. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I'm like, fuck. So I had to go across the street. I took a bucket and I got sand from the playground.
Yeah.
This is how crazy I was. Like I pushed the fucking snow. I got sand from the playground. I'm walking back. The car's still on. And you hear, Diaz, come in. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I put the fucking sand on the snow. I swear to God, dog. I'm pushed.
You know where you were mush? You remember when we were catering and you lit those trash cans on fire?
Dog, I lit more things
And
on
you were
fire.
like, go.
Go. You don't know nothing. Go. I'm not sitting around cleaning shit. So, Joshua, I'm stepping on this thing, and I'm like, and the car, and also I'm looking behind, there's like little flames coming out of the tires. It's like sparks. And all of a sudden you just hear, the metal started moving, and the electrical pole started going back and forth. I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna go. I gotta get out of here. So I put it on like D1. I'm like, and all of a sudden you're like, the thing is gonna fall, it's gonna fall. Dog, I drove so hard, the back of the van came off, and I just said, fuck it, leave it. And Diaz, where are you? Dog, I'm coming back. I pull up like nothing. He's out there waiting for me with a new delivery. The back of the van is gone. I'm wide open. I'm freezing to death because there's no doors. It just took that whole piece off with the bumper and the tire thing.
God.
The whole thing came off. I remember pulling up, and he's a little Arab guy. His name, what the fuck was his name? And we used to torture him. He's still there.
God.
He's still there at Boulevard Hardware. He's still there. George something. And he was Arab. And we used to, and the kid who got me the job there, the father worked there, Babu, something like that. And he had a sister who was half a freak. And his name was George. His name was George Murad. So we used to call him George Murad in the Bahamas. He was a coke fiend. He'd lose his mind. A couple times I'd bring him coke and he'd go crazy. He'd leave in the afternoon. You run the place for me. I think I lasted 3 months there. And even with the torn van, you know, that's how I took my first pinch when I was working at Boulevard Hardware.
He didn't fire you after the van?
No, I blame it on, you know me, dog. Yeah. I could talk anybody into anything. I talked them into, like, what are you talking about? The back of the van, where is it? They said that was my favorite van. Go, you told me to go to Newark. I don't know what happened. He goes, Newark? When did you go to Newark? I'm like, last week, remember? I never went to Newark in that fucking thing. I would never go to fucking Newark. That happened to me, no, bro, the whole back of the van.
Oh, my God.
I went back there that night. I just took the back. Me and my buddies took it and pushed it onto the people's property. Like the people, they must have flipped when they woke up and saw the back of the van. It was one of those vans like that you fucking actually rape people in, Like he had the bed in the back.
You mean
he
with no windows? And all
yeah,
that?
he was a filthy fucking savage. No, but it was customized.
Oh, like
It was like an extra van he had because he was so busy with deliveries, delivering wood and nails and all this shit. So he's like, you're going to have to drive that van. So I used to fucking steal shit from him. Like, he used to have those Makita drills, Makita saws and shit. And I would steal them every delivery. Like, he would go stock this job. So I would take a piece of paper down, and there'd be like a pallet. And if it called for two Makitas, I put 6 on there. And I would take them right to my little junkie buddy, Bonehead, and he'd buy them for me. Give me a kick, come by the house later. I'll take care of you.
Man.
Yeah, hilarious.
I wonder if you added up all the shit you stolen in your life, how much that would be.
It's crazy. The Ali's were the first people I ever met, ever, beside my godfather, that ever spoke to me about sex. And then I had this Puerto Rican dude on my block, Puerto Rican Nelson. He lived in the back. He was a bartender in the city. He used to always ask me, and he wasn't a freak or nothing. I always thought that at one point he would molest me.
Yeah.
And even till today, I think deep sometimes. Did fucking Puerto Rican Nelson ever molest me? Because he used to always have a robe on and slippers and shit.
That's how he walked around?
Oh my God, Puerto Rican Nelson.
I love that you're not sure if he did. You feel like it's maybe...
Yeah, like I think, did he ever dope me? Like he ever pull a Cosby on me? Because everything about him fits like an M.O. He was just a good dude.
Yeah.
That we used to go outside and help us fix our bike. And he was a Spanish dude. And he was just, he had the sideburns and the leather jacket. And it was the fucking early 70s. And I moved to Jersey. And he would talk to a bunch of us. And one day he would take us in the back. His claim to fame with me was that I became friends with him. And I go over there, and he had a black friend that had went over to the Rock of Gibraltar, and he brought pictures back. And then he would just talk to me. And then one day, he asked me you got a couple of beers. You ever go to somebody's house, and you go to their house a lot, and they're sober, but one day you catch them and they're fucking hammered.
Yeah.
And we go over there, and it's like early in the morning. Like I used to go over there every morning at 10 and wake him up and what's up, man? What are we going to do today? Give me an hour. I'll go out there and play stickball with you. And he come out with coffee, and he reeked of alcohol.
Yeah.
He was one of those dudes in the summer. No air conditioning. Just a dynamite dude.
Yeah.
And one day, I knock on the door, and he answers with a towel around him, and he's sitting down like he's all fucked up. I go, Nelson, you gonna play football? He's like, man, not today, and all this shit. He goes, come back in like 2 hours. So, we were, in those days, you're punctual.
Yeah.
Like, we were there in 2 hours. He answered the door, you guys again? The fucking curtains were still up. He invites us in. He's got a towel on. He turns a light on, and there's like a table filled with alcohol, and like.
Oh, yeah?
How old were you at this point?
12. 12, and I can't remember who the fuck I walked in there with. Like, it was like 6 of us in the neighborhood that liked Nelson, but 2 of us actually interacted a little closer with Nelson.
Yeah.
I was Spanish, so I understood Nelson's world. I knew Puerto Rican people, but I can't believe who else was the other guy that mingled with Nelson. So we had woken Nelson up. He goes, come in. We sit on his couch. You guys want a soda? He gives us a soda. He puts the TV on. You can see he's still fucked up from the night before. He's got the towel on. And he's like, so you guys get late? And we don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, nobody ever spoke to me like that. I had uncles that would ask me, anybody suck your dick yet?
Yeah.
Are you pissing sweet yet? That type of shit. But this...
You pissed.
Oh, yeah. When you're Spanish, te preguntan, oye, tú me aduces. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Yeah, it's a great line. But Nelson was basically the first person ever. But like, I known about sex, but Nelson was the first person ever that said it could be yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean you never had sex? I got a girl right now. She'll come over and clean your pipe. And we're both like fucking shitting our pants. Yeah, you come up with like $10 or something. We're like, nah. So that was it. He never talked about it again. And then one day we're sitting there like a month.
Just this guy.
Like
A guy in a fucking towel has neighborhood boys over and offers to get them all whore. And he's drunk.
Because he's outraged that they haven't had sex at 14 or 12.
So he was cool as fuck. He used to play basketball with us and shit. So one day I go over there with this kid and he starts telling us.
What's his name again?
Puerto Rican Nelson. We go.
Is it be capitalized?
No, Puerto Rican Nelson was cool as fuck because he used to bring us weed from the city and he would actually give us 7 joints for $5.
Wow.
He really took care of us. It wasn't like he was a bad guy, which to me meant the world. Because a lot of people could bring you weed over in those days, but they say, I take a joint off the top. He was like, I got to go over anyway. Don't worry about it. The guy gives me a better deal. So I always liked him because of that. So one day we're there, and a girl's there. A girl comes out of his bedroom. Me and my buddy are like, wow, look at Puerto Rican Nelson with a broad. She sits on his lap and shit. And he's like, yeah, this is my girl. And he's feeling her up. And he's making out in front of her. And feeling into these and shit. And me and my buddy are frozen. Like, we're just, I can't remember who the fuck it was. So,
Wow.
boom.
How old was this guy?
This guy had to be 28 and the bro was like 21. But he was one of those, he had to be 26 maybe. He was from somewhere else and he lived there. This is before the computer and before Neighborhood Watch and before...
and no one was freaked out by a pack of 12-year-olds hanging out with them?
No, because in those days a lot of parents came out and played with kids. And
I know, that's different now.
See, it's different
I would never
now.
be able to play with a random kid in my neighborhood.
So everybody knew him from the neighborhood, and in those days we wanted to go into the murky waters.
Yeah.
And he was kind of opening the door. Not really, to be honest with you. It took a long time. It's not like he lurked us into his house and said, do you guys want to have sex? This is after we knew him for a year.
Right.
We go back there all the time to get water after a basketball game. We knew him, you know. But now he knew we were growing up and he knew what our needs were. I look at it now like he was just trying to, but we couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So one day we're sitting back there, we had a basketball game, and he's like, hey, man, what'd you think of that fucking broad the other day? Me and my buddy like, oh, she was banging. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, tell these guys how hot she was. And me and my buddy's like, yeah, she was hot. He's like, oh, when can we see her? He goes, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He goes, listen, I'm going to fuck her tonight in the living room, and I'll leave the window open. You guys can come by and listen. You know, I think about that last year I did blow. I was ready to call 60 Minutes. Like, I think of this state of mind right now. Like, I had already a pitch for 60 Minutes to explain to them that I had found the cure for cocaine. That if you do heroin on Mondays, just a little bit, you will not snort the rest of the week. Like, I was really going to pitch 60 Minutes. I was going to get an agent and go to CBS and go, listen, I got a groundbreaking idea. There's no reason for rehabs. We'll get that white powder you motherfuckers are going to war for. And we'll get that little white poppy seed. We'll make it into some pill. And we'll get people high on Monday because the rest of the week I didn't want to get high. How crazy is that? So I was doing heroin on a Monday and it wouldn't let me do coke the rest of the week. I look forward to Mondays. Fuck CSI Miami.
Why only Monday?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea. That was just the day
You gotta start
I
the week off right.
Yeah, that was just.
And this is snorting it.
Yeah, snorting it. 2 little lines of heroin just to get me out.
And what does it do? Like, what's the feeling? Tell me what it feels like when it hits you.
Oh, it takes a couple minutes to hit you, and you feel this weird thing, and then you feel like your blood pressure going up, and you feel like this euphoric warmth. You feel like this fucking warmth. I felt like my body. You ever take a wet shit? It's warm, and you can see if you shit outside, steam's gonna come out of it.
Right.
That's what your body feels like, that warmth. And then I would get an urge to puke. For a couple minutes, I would gag and puke. A little bit would come out of yellow. And then after I puked a little bit, I would just go into this state of fucking momo-ness for 4 hours. It was like smoking indicas all day. And
Momo-ness.
like just sitting there smoking cigarettes, looking out a window. And I'd make believe I was writing John Lennon-type lyrics to jokes until I looked at them the next day, this brilliance about a refrigerator. Like, I remember writing a bit about a refrigerator once. and looking at it the next day and say, thank God I never tried. You know what I'm saying? Like little things, like just.
Well, that was Hedberg's drug of choice. And his jokes, man, I mean, I think he's probably the best non sequitur joke guy ever, because all his jokes are unrelated. It's like, here's a non sequitur. Here's some other things I was thinking about. Here's something I thought. Here's something I saw. And it was like, I was listening to it the other day. It's like half of his jokes were only funny because he was saying them, you know, but they were hilarious. Like he had a way of doing it that was kind of like heroin comedy, you know?
Would
like,
you be messed up during the week or no? You.
It'd take me a day to recover on Tuesdays. I'd be out. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I was doing the heroin. And I wasn't doing coke. So I was really fucking
And so
happy.
you would be like sober Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you'd look forward to the big bump on Monday.
Yeah, that kid's dead. He used to send it to me. He used to send me $7 bags.
What kid?
His name was Bonehead. He died from an OD.
How weird.
Yeah.
Figured that guy was going to live forever.
I knew
Bonehead?
I knew Bonehead from the time. Rest in peace. You know what,
You
Joe?
lost Bonehead, bro.
Let me tell you something about Bonehead. Bonehead was like your boy. He was. I could go into a room with 90 motherfuckers, and Bonehead will liquidate 10 of them. Bonehead was a bad motherfucker, dog. I love Bonehead had 3 brothers. I loved all of them. But Bonehead was, and 2 of the brothers were very successful. And believe it or not, Bonehead was successful as a plumber. He had his own company. He only went out crazy at night, Bonehead. Bonehead, when I was 17, would take me to McSorley's Ale House in New York City. No ID. He'd call the bartender over and give him 3 mugs of beer, give him 3 mugs of beer, and give him a bowl of chili. And Mughead would take $10 from the both of us, and he'd go to Washington Square Park, and he'd come back and he'd give me 8 Valiums. And by the meantime, he would go buy his heroin, and he'd buy these mixture of pills, and he'd melt them too, the black and whites. Then he'd take us to a strip club in New Jersey or something, then he'd take us home. And the next day, 7 in the morning, there's Bonehead in the fucking plumbing van up in Dandy. He was a functioning addict. He wasn't like your regular.
There's a lot of those guys out there.
And he had a chick that was a 13.
Really?
She was half Asian, half Irish.
Good Lord.
And they used to do heroin together, and they'd pass out in the living room, they'd fuck, and they'd both go to sleep. And then I'd be in the bedroom, because I just moved in with Bonehead's family. Okay, they were Italian, bro. They were real fucking Italians. And the mother was the first person who ever made me an egg cream. She was a little Irish chick, and she used to say the word Earl. She couldn't say oil, and she was the bookkeeper for Union 52, whatever, the Teamsters, the Laborers Union. And I was over there one day when I was 16. She goes, "You got a book? Nah, walk me to work tomorrow. I'll get you a book. You can start fucking being a hottie." So like a hod carrier. Like
Hod carrier?
Yeah, they're for brick masons.
Oh, okay.
So she goes, "I can get you with the Italians over by the brick masons," because she was from Hoboken. So she got me a book. I financed it. She got a loan shark to finance it. I love these people. If I'm thinking I don't like doing documentaries, but I need to do a documentary about this family because it's the rise and fall of an American family that I saw before my eyes. As a child, I went over there and ate with them. You know, I hung out with all 3 brothers, by the way. Like, I wasn't just friends with Bonehead. I hung out with Chrissy Fish, and I hung out with the little, whatever his name was. But Bonehead was my nighttime guy. Bonehead used to take me into the murky waters of the underworld. He could get me guns and shit. Now, the medium brother was a drug dealer in the 80s, and he sold big times coke, and he used to buy jewelry, and he used to put them in a tackle box. So one night, me and the younger brother in the bed sleeping, Bonehead comes in to borrow money from us because he was going to the city to get heroin. He goes, and I go, "Bonehead, I got to go to the bank. I don't have any money on me." He went into his brother's room, and instead of his brother was sleeping, the drug dealer, instead of just opening up the tackle box and taking $40 out, he took the whole tackle box. And it had $40,000 in cash and another $30 in jewelry. He went to the Bronx. These are the best times of my life. You want to talk about comrades? This is the best time of my life.
This is your war stories?
And he thought the house was haunted, and that was scary.
No. This was not a haunted house at all. These people were decent Italian people. The dad was a longshoreman, and the mom was in charge of the Teamsters Union, and they hung out with Westies. They hung out with the mother was friends with this dude that was a whatever for the Westies, and he used to get me jobs. He would get me jobs casing joints. You know, when you have a summer job, he would tell me, come here, I want you to go in that warehouse. I'm going to give you 200, and they're going to give you 180. I want you to go in that warehouse and write down all the alarms and tell me where the safe is, who walks around the safe, and he would pay me money. This is a great house, dog. Old school Italian house, but back to Bonehead. Bonehead has the fishing tackle box. He's about to go upstairs to buy heroin and shoot it. He puts the tackle box in the garbage can in front of the building and puts a lid on it. When he's upstairs shooting heroin, the garbage men come. And they take the 40 large with the 30,000 in fucking jewelry. Do you understand me? I mean, this was nonstop. Another night, Bonehead came home high on heroin. And he decided to make French fries. So he put the pot out. Remember in the 80s, they had those pots. You could bring it home with the hot oil, and they would boil, and you could throw French fries. America went crazy over them. I forgot what they were. Crazy. Everybody was
French fry machines.
Everybody was making onion rings and shit. Well, he did heroin and knotted up.
Left
and
that thing running.
The thing went on fire.
Of course it did.
We're all in the fucking house.
Oh, Jesus.
All right?
It's oil.
I wake up to ba-boom and alarms, and all of a sudden Kurt's waking me up, and we go out of the house, and the father's outside, and the grandmother, and the fire department crawls on top of the roof, Joe, and they're hitting the fucking roof to let the smoke out, and fire trucks are coming from the side laying water, and they got the sirens. In the middle of all this, it's 8 in the morning, and we all look around and go, oh my God, Emil's still in the house. Bonehead was still in the house on fire. Bro, they turn the fire off, they go in. He's still with his feet up, with his hands crossed.
Just heroin out of his mind.
Watching TV like nothing happened.
He slept through the fire?
Oh my God, everything. When they woke him up, he goes, are my fries ready? This is how crazy this family was. Are my fries ready?
Are my
They're like,
fries
Bonehead,
ready?
we have 2 fucking battalions out there. We got half of 9/11 out there.
Oh, my God.
And you're still fucking sleeping.
Oh, my God.
They burned the house down.
Burned the fucking kitchen down and half the bedroom. They had to move into a hotel for 6 months. And they had a grandmother downstairs who was old school Italian, but she couldn't smell. So every time we smoked pot, we'd just go down there and blow smoke in her face. And grandma would pass out in a wheelchair, and that was the end of it. I mean, it didn't stop. It didn't stop.
Jesus.
So this is why you get mad at people for binge watching stuff on Netflix, and this is what you were talking about.
I get mad at everything, Lee. What do you got to bother me for? I get mad when people, like, he used to hide the coke. The medium brother used to hide the coke under his car. And I'd be walking down the hill, and I could see a little container under there. He didn't even have a Maserati. What's the other Italian car?
Fiat.
This is how much of a guineas these motherfuckers were. What's the other Italian car?
Well, it's Fiat, like you said.
The Avanti.
Avanti. Oh, okay, I remember those.
Remember that piece of shit?
That was a piece of shit.
Those are pieces of shit. Can you show me a piece of car of an
I
Avanti?
don't trust anything Italian.
Oh my God, that was he tried to sell it to me once. It was like it's worth 20. I'll give it to you for $2,000. Yeah, then I drive it down the corner, it blows up. And then one day, I transferred from fucking Catholic school, got thrown out, and I went to McKinley. And now I had to go to school with John and all those other kids in that area, and it was not hard for me. I can't lie to you, it wasn't hard for me. I knew them already. Excuse me, I knew half of them already from the neighborhood. So in the 6th grade, I fucking went to the courts like I did every day, and I'm playing basketball because I want to be good at basketball.
Okay.
And this kid, Richie Ferreira, wants to play basketball. So we're playing basketball, and he's kind of drunk. Now I'm fucking 12, you know, maybe 11, 12. Richie Ferreira's maybe 17. So fucking in the middle of the game, I say, Richie, stop fouling us. And he pushes me and he throws the ball down the fucking hill. I get up to push him. He just knocks the shit out of me. And I didn't cry or nothing. I just took it and went down to the corner and went and picked up the fucking ball and went home. But my pants were ripped. I tell the story on stage. Not in the extended version, but this all went down, and Carmine was on his porch with Peter looking at this. This was a commotion. And the next thing you fucking know, I go home, and I go in the shower. My mom's home. What the fuck is my mom doing home? I go in the shower. The phone always rings when my mom is home, so I don't. But the next day is when I got home, and she said, listen, we're going to go to the park. You got beat up yesterday? You didn't do nothing. And I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? So she taking me to the park. She takes the guy, we fight. He beats me up again. My mom walks me home, tells me it's okay. I'm going to get into a lot of brawls in my life. But guess what Richie Ferrara does?
What?
He hires John Bender to fight me.
What?
So I'm in the 6th grade one day, and John Bender comes in and he goes, hey, fucko, spick, whatever. We're fighting at 3 today. You, Richie Ferrara,
How old was John?
6th grade. We're both the same age.
What?
Both the same age. So
Okay.
now I go home, I take my books out. Now this was big time. This was weird because they thought Carmine was going to come. So Bobby got on the corner. They had people on top of the hill. And John showed up with every white kid in town. And I'm standing there with fucking Martin Perez, Valentin Ferro, Dominic Special, and Michael Special. You know, he showed up with 15 fucking kids. And they made a circle, and I fought him, and he broke my nose. And I gave him a black eye, and he busted my lip. He really beat me up, if you want to know the truth. And the next day, we just went to school like nothing happened. And then like a week later, he comes up to me. And he goes, listen, what happened? I feel really bad. And he shook my hand. And I took it for what it was. I always knew something was going to happen between us one day where I'd stab him or something. I didn't say nothing. The kids on 148th Street were Puerto Rican, Irish, Italian, a couple Jews, and all of them were tough.
But we're talking same age range and everything.
Same
just a
age
whole
range.
different world up here.
Before I got into Santeria, my mom would send me up to my godmother's house on 148th Street and Broadway, 20 blocks from the epicenter of the world, Harlem. You're 20 blocks from Harlem. I was the heartbeat of New York City. I'm 20 blocks from the heartbeat of New York City. 6'5".
Oh, wow.
So I'm hanging out down there on 88th Street playing buck and killing rats. 148th Street,
6 years old, you're killing rats.
complete different game. First day on 148th Street, they came up to me, how you doing? Ricky, whatever, and all of a sudden they're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know, I want to play stickball. And they're like, nah, you want to see a body? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, let's go see a dead body. I'm like, I like these kids. They took me down to West Side Avenue, and they had some guy who had been hit by a car. This is the 70s. This is like 65. There was no CSI. If you got hit by a car, you were there for like 2 or 3 days.
You saw that your first dead body.
The first dead
6,
body
7
I
years
saw,
old?
he was already had the flies on him, and they just threw plywood over him. And he was starting to stink like from 10 feet away. Like he had just been there maybe like these kids were, he was right by the Hudson River. And we would walk down to the Hudson River. And then finally 2 days later we went down there. It was a crime scene, obviously. Some fucking, in those days people didn't jog. Yeah. It's not like today that there's jogging.
Yeah.
I can kill you.
I
can kill you and drop you on a 170. They'd never find you. Today, these fucking joggers, they're out there looking around. And they always find bodies, joggers. It's not like they find like a $20 bill. You never seen a jogger go, I found an envelope full of money. They always find some lady beat up and raped. What the fuck kind of morning is that?
Oh my God. Oh shit. We're only at 6. All this, we're only at 6.